You are born somewhere in what will one day be called Central Europe, around 25,000 years ago, into a band of roughly 30 people who have not stayed in the same place for more than 2 seasons your entire life. You are a girl. This is already the defining fact of your existence. Your mother pushes you out during a cold snap, in a shelter made of mammoth bones and stitched hides that creak when the wind changes direction. The fire is low. There are 3 other women in the shelter. They know what to do. Your mother does not scream. Screaming draws predators. You survive the first night. Not everyone does. Your name is a sound, a specific combination of consonants and breath that belongs only to you inside this group. It means something like the color of a particular stone your mother liked, or maybe it means something about light on water. You will never know for certain. Nothing is written down. Nothing will ever be written down. Your earliest memories are cold and warm at the same time. Cold floors, cold mornings, cold meat in winter, warm bodies pressed against yours at night, your mother's arm across your chest, the smell of smoke in everyone's hair. You learn the smell of your group the way other creatures learn the smell of their den. You know everyone. You know the sound of 30 people breathing. By the time you turn 5, you understand the basic mechanics of your world. Meat comes from animals. Animals have to be found, cornered, killed, and carried back. The men do most of the killing. The women do most of the carrying and the processing. You do what the older women tell you. You watch. You learn what plants are edible, what bark can be stripped and chewed to dull pain, which roots store well through winter, and which go soft and foul. You also learn, without anyone explaining it, that you are an asset. Not in a cruel way. No one is cruel about it. It is simply the way things are organized. Girls are valuable in a specific direction. Boys stay. Girls go. Not all girls, and not always, but often enough that you understand it as a pattern before you understand it as something that will happen to you. Your band is not an island. There are other groups. You see them sometimes at the river crossings, at the big kill sites where a ravine has been used as a trap for horses. There are careful rituals around these meetings. Gifts, food shared, and sometimes a girl from one group going away with another. The strontium isotope signature in her teeth. Years later, when archaeologists grind down the enamel, will tell them she was not from where she was buried. She moved. She moved far. But none of that language exists yet. What exists is the fact that she walked. You are 7 when you watch this happen for the first time. A girl slightly older than you from a neighboring group you have met twice before at a flint trading site by the river. She has a particular laugh. You have heard it from across a clearing and looked up involuntarily. She walks away with men you have never seen before and does not look back, or if she does, you do not see it. You ask your mother where she went. Your mother says, "Far. That is all." By the time you are 10, you are useful. You process hides for hours. Your fingers know how to work a stone scraper along the inner membrane without tearing through. You know how to smoke meat so it keeps. You know how to find flint outcroppings by reading the landscape, by the color of the exposed chalk and the way water drains. You are not special for knowing these things. Every girl your age knows them. This is the education. You also start paying attention to the way men from other groups look at you during meetings. Not in a threatening way, in an assessing way. Quiet, calculating, like someone looking at weather. You are 12 or 13 when your body changes. There is no ceremony. There is acknowledgement. The older women nod. Your mother puts her hand on your head for a moment longer than usual. You are now of value in the specific direction. The group that comes the following spring is from the east. You have never seen them before. They arrive carefully, with gifts first, several good flint blades, a bundle of dried meat, some red ochre wrapped in birch bark. These are serious gifts. Someone has thought about what would be appreciated. They stay for several days. There is eating together, trading. The men look at flint work and judge it. The women compare cordage techniques. Children orbit the edges of everything. And then the conversation happens that you are not quite included in, and that concerns only you. You understand enough to know what is being decided. Your father's brother does most of the talking on your group's side. The man from the eastern group is older, calm, with several healed scars on his forearms. He brings 2 more young men forward at one point. One of them looks at you directly. The other looks at his feet. The exchange is not cruel. There is no drama. It functions the way any serious logistical arrangement functions among people who understand interdependence. These Eastern people have access to different flint sources, different migration corridors for game, different knowledge. Your group has different knowledge. The alliance means future meetings, future trading, future cooperation. You are the physical anchor of that agreement. Also given in exchange are 6 good flint blades, the dried haunches of 2 aurochs, and a promise of assistance at the next large-scale hunt. You are worth 6 blades, and 2 haunches, and a promise. You have no word for what you feel. The emotion exists before language for it does. It lives in your chest as a dull pressure. It lives in your stomach as a change in the quality of the air. You sleep pressed against your mother that last night. She does not say anything. She is warm, and she smells of smoke and pine resin, and she has smelled this way your entire life. And you press your face into her shoulder and breathe. In the morning, you walk east. Your feet already know how to walk long distances. This is not new. What is new is the direction. Every morning of your life until now, the horizon you walked toward was one you had walked toward before, or one your mother had walked toward before, or one the oldest woman in your group could describe from memory. This horizon is none of those. The man with the healed scars on his arms walks at a careful distance. Not close enough to crowd you. Not far enough to seem indifferent. The 2 younger men flank loosely. Nobody speaks to you much the first day. This is either courtesy or uncertainty. You decide it is courtesy. This decision costs you nothing and makes the walking easier. You cover ground faster than you expected. These Eastern people have a different walking pace, a slightly longer stride. You adjust by the 2nd day. By the 3rd day, you eat together around a fire, and the older man's name becomes something you can repeat back correctly. And he seems pleased by this. His name, roughly, contains a sound like stone on stone. The younger man who had looked at you directly is called something with a breath click in it. He is maybe 17. He peels bark from a birch branch and hands you the inner layer to chew. It is sweet. It is a kindness. You chew it and look at the fire, and he sits at a correct distance, and the older man watches both of you with the expression of someone who has arranged things and is satisfied with how they are proceeding. You arrive at their territory 10 days after you left yours. It smells different. Not wrong. Just different. The trees are a different ratio of pine to birch. The river bends in a direction that still feels counterintuitive after a month. The rock outcroppings are limestone where yours were sandstone. Your feet feel the difference underfoot. Their group is larger than yours. Perhaps 40 people. They come out to look at you with the directness of people who have been told something is coming. There is a woman about your mother's age who steps forward first. She has done this before. You can tell by the way she moves without hesitation, the way she takes your measure quickly and without drama and then makes a sound of decision. She will teach you things. She is the one who decides what you learn and when and from whom. Her name contains a long vowel. You will think of her always by the sound of it. She shows you where things are kept. She shows you the routes their group uses. She shows you what plants grow here that don't grow where you came from, and what their names are in this group's language. Their language is not your language. It shares enough structure that you can orient yourself inside it within weeks, but it is not your language, and for the first 2 months, everything you say sounds slightly wrong to everyone who hears it. You make mistakes that are not mistakes. You call a tool by your word for it. You arrange things in the order your mother arranged them. At night in the first weeks, you listen to 30 different people breathing and try not to count how many breaths it would take to walk back west. You are 13, 14, 15. You learn. You adapt. This is what you are for, and also, it turns out, what you are genuinely good at. You are observant. You pick up the language faster than the long vowel woman expected. You find the limestone flint outcroppings within the first season because you read the landscape the same way you read your old landscape, and limestone and chalk behave similarly. You bring back a good load of flint nodules, and the older man, who turns out to be the breath click boy's father, nods at you in a way that communicates something that functions as respect. The breath click boy's name you eventually learn to say correctly. He is patient about the correction. He says it slowly, without mockery. You say it back. He says yes like that. This is a small thing, it stays with you for reasons you can't explain. By the time you are 15, you are his in the full arrangement of what that word means in your world. It is not dramatic, it is the completion of the thing that was arranged in spring 2 years ago. He is gentle with you in the beginning, careful. He brings you the good parts of kills the way the older man used to bring things to his wife. You understand this is affection expressed in the language available. At 16, you are pregnant for the first time. The long vowel woman knows before you do. She looks at you one morning and makes a sound of confirmation. The baby is born in winter. A boy. He survives the first night. You name him with a sound that contains a piece of your original language folded inside it, something only you would recognize as a ghost of the word your mother used for something she loved. Nobody here knows this. It belongs only to you. At 17, you move through the world differently. You have a child on your hip or your back for most of the waking hours, and your body has rearranged itself permanently around this fact. Your feet still know how to walk long distances. The child adds weight, but not impossibly. You carry him the way you carry everything, steadily, without complaint, until you can put it down. The breath click man is a good hunter. Not the best in the group, but consistent and reliable, which is more valuable than spectacular. He comes back with meat regularly. He is not often cruel. Once, after a hunt that went badly, and a near miss with a cave bear that clearly shook him badly, he is sharp with you for 2 days. Then he is not. This is within the range of normal. You find this normal. This is what disturbs you years later looking back. How quickly it became normal. There are women in this group who become yours. Not the way your mother was yours or the way your first group was yours, but in a different way. Real. Just different. A woman your age with a deep laugh. An older woman who shares her knowledge of winter root preparation without being asked, just notices you watching and moves over to make space. The long vowel woman who never becomes warm exactly, but becomes something you respect, which is its own thing. You are 20 when the first messenger comes from the West. He is from a group adjacent to your original group. He carries news in the form of objects and gestures and a long description of events. Your original group has merged with another. Your mother is alive. Your younger sister was traded the previous spring to a southern group. Your father's brother died in a fall from a cliff face pursuing ibex. You listen to all of this with a face that does not move. You thank the messenger with food and a good flint blade, and send him back with a piece of red ochre that came from your original territory, which you have kept, which you have never explained to anyone. At night you tell none of this to anyone. You go to sleep next to your child and your man and the fire. The feeling in your chest is not grief exactly. It is the weight of distance measured in days of walking. By 25 you have 3 children. 2 survive. The one who doesn't is a girl, born too early, who lives for 3 days and is buried under a flat stone near the eastern edge of the camp. You place a piece of the red ochre with her. Nobody questions this. You are useful to this group now in ways that have nothing to do with the original arrangement. You know things they don't know. You know the western migration routes for aurochs. You know a different technique for treating wounds with certain mosses that you teach the group's healer, who incorporates it without ceremony. You know how to read ice thickness, which saves a child one winter when you shout a warning before anyone else registers the sound the ice was making. The breath click man is proud of you in the way that men in your world are proud of things that belong to them and also function well. You understand this is the best version of what you can expect, and you make peace with it. This is not defeat, it is accuracy. At 30, you look at yourself in still water and see your mother. This is both terrible and fine. By your mid-30s, you are someone the younger women come to. Not for comfort. Comfort is not the currency here, but for knowledge, for procedure, for the look on a face that has seen things and not collapsed under them. You give this freely. You were given it freely once, by the long vowel woman who died the previous winter of a swelling in her jaw that went septic. You missed her more than you expected, more than you missed some things from your original life. This surprises you. Then it doesn't. Your body at 38 is a map of everything it has done. Your knees ache in cold weather. The joint where your right shoulder meets your neck sends occasional messages of protest when you lift heavy things. Your hands are competent and scored with small scars, the way all useful hands are. You are not old by the standards of someone who has not worked this hard. You are old by the standards of someone who has. Your eldest son is 20 by now. He is careful and steady like his father. He will stay with this group. Your daughter is 17. You watch the conversations around her with the particular awareness of someone who has been the subject of such conversations and survived them. When a group from the South comes in early spring with serious gifts, you are present. You watch your daughter's face during the assessment. You watch her jaw set. After, when you are alone together, you don't tell her it will be fine. You don't tell her it won't be. You tell her you will walk for many days. Your feet already know how. The horizon will be wrong for a long time. Then it won't be. She looks at you with the expression of someone receiving information that is true and unwelcome. You put your hand on her head for a moment longer than usual. She walks south the following morning. You watch until the group disappears into the tree line. You are 42 when the breath click man dies. A hunting injury that should have been survivable, that is survivable for 3 days, and then is not. The infection moves fast. He is lucid at the end and looks at you, and you look at him, and between you is 25 years of a life built from an arrangement that was never about either of you and became, in spite of that, something real. You do not wail. You do what needs to be done. The deep laugh woman sits with you that night without speaking. This is exactly correct. You sit by the fire until it burns low. In your final years, you are the one who steps forward when new girls arrive. You are the one who looks at them quickly and without drama and makes a sound of assessment and begins showing them where things are. You know what they need. You know what they don't know they need. You do not say, I know how far you have walked. You do not say, I know what you left behind. You do not say any of this because it would not help, and you have never done things that do not help. You simply make space and begin. You die in late spring, around 47 or 48, of something in your chest that makes it difficult to breathe over the course of a few weeks, and then impossible. You die in the shelter you have slept in for 34 years. Your son is there, the deep laugh woman is there, nobody buries the red ochre with you. It is already gone, given in pieces to people who needed it more.